See it played, the Marshals, Volume 1, Junot and Sultan, Portugal. And this is Junot 1808 scenario, and this is the 19th of August. So for the 19th of August, the initiative phase, the British rolled a 5 plus 2 for Wellesley's strategic value for a total of 7. The French side rolled a 2. Junot's strategic value is 0, so the British handily win the initiative. However, both sides, both the French and the Anglo-Allies, have an initiative event marker, which I'm going to check. I'm going to consider whether either side, or I should say, whether one or both sides will use those now. So I'm going to play this as I think it might in an actual face-to-face play. The French want to block the Anglo-Allied army from easily getting much farther south. So the French player is going to play the initiative event marker right now to seize the initiative. However, the French side wouldn't realize that the Anglo-Allies have an initiative marker too, so the opposing side can also play an initiative marker to get it back, to get initiative back. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So the French are going to play to get the initiative, and then the Anglo-Allies are going to play their initiative marker to get initiative right back. So it will be the Anglo-Allied side has initiative. So now we go on to the events phase. So again, each side has their own pool of event markers, and in this event phase, they are drawn randomly. So the Anglo-Allies just drew the Berard event marker. And the fact that it's marked with an asterisk there means that it must be played immediately. Events marked with a star or asterisk must be played immediately. So Berard has to be played now, and then I will also draw the French player event marker, French event marker. So the French side draws this event marker. So first I'm going to figure out and review exactly what both of these mean, and then there's also the option to spend victory points to return these to their pools. So most significantly, the Berard event chit is hugely significant. This is the one that means that the game ends at the end. The game ends at the end of this turn. Now, the Anglo-Allies are ahead. They have 5 victory points to the French 1. So there is no reason. Well, I will review the victory conditions one more time and come back and remark on those victory conditions. But if it looks like the Anglo-Allies are going to win this turn, then they would let the Berard event chit stand and not pay victory points to put it back into the pool. The French event chit, I think that's Genie. I don't know. I probably should check on the French. Pronunciation, but this is engineering, and this is about destroying or rebuilding a bridge. So just to clarify, I do believe that even though Berard is a starred or asterisked event and must be played immediately, I do believe that the Anglo-Allies can still spend 2 victory points from the victory point track to put this back into the event pool and basically, in this case, extend the game. Now I'm going to figure out whether the Anglo-Allied side would actually do that or not. So it is the dilemma, which is great. This is not straightforward at all, because control of Lisbon at the end of the game is 6 VP, and the French still control Lisbon. So if the British allow the game to end this turn, The French are going to at least be up to 7. They have 1 right now. They're going to get 6 for Lisbon at least. So they jump up to 7, which is more than the Anglo-Allies' current 5. So the question is, could the Anglo-Allies let the turn end, or let the game end at the end of this turn, and maybe pick up 3 victory points and get to 8? And just barely edge out the French. And they would have to, the Anglo-Allies would have to, I imagine, go into battle. They would have to destroy 3 victory points worth of French forces. So that might be 1 infantry unit and a cavalry unit, 2 cavalry units and an artillery unit, or a cavalry unit and a baggage train. This is not obvious at all. So I think this is the time when the Anglo-Allies, as the game design puts it, tempts fate. So the Anglo-Allies are going to put Berard back into the pool and spend 2 victory points to do that. So they go down from 5 to 3 victory points. They just spent 2 victory points to put Berard back into the pool, which means it's obviously available to be drawn again in a future turn. They do not draw another event marker after doing that. All right, interesting. So that's the events phase. So we're going to go on to the operations phase, and it's going to start with the Anglo-Allied side. All right, so here's a general review here of the Anglo-Allied side. All right, so now we're at 3 victory points, which is ahead of the French 1. The British fleet is still back at Peniche. We've got all of the forces consolidated at Vimero. We have taken some losses. Trent, the Portuguese infantry has lost a strength point and is down to a morale of 2, and the 1st and 2nd brigades have lost a strength point and are at a current morale of 4. We're going to ignore those losses and just press on and basically not consider those losses right now. In general, well, we also have counter battery, so a battle event marker, and fire, a battle event marker in hand. In hand. All right. Basic idea is, I think first, it's the first operation of the turn, which is what the rules say. I assume they mean the first Anglo-Allied operation of the turn. It doesn't say that. It says the first operation. But anyways, it is the first operation of the operations phase of this turn. And the Anglo-Allied side is going to move the British fleet down to Vimero. Okay. So now the British fleet is down here. Now, the Anglo-Allied force is going to divide into, I'm going to consider who to send forward. I at least want to get march 2 spaces across the river, across the bridge to this area, zone, and from this zone to this zone at least. So one force is going to go down this way, and then the next Anglo-Allied operation, a decision will be made what to do with the remaining force. But basically 2 forces, I need to decide, does Wellesley go with the advanced force, or does he stay with the main force? And where do the baggage trains go? And where to... Yep, I still have Portuguese cavalry. I've got Portuguese cavalry, some artillery, infantry, baggage trains, and decoys. So I'll figure out how to divide these forces, and then we will do the marches of that advanced force first. Now that I think about it, if Wellesley goes with the advanced force, you do not have to test for command. That might be good. As well as Wellesley can discard a fatigue marker. So actually maybe Wellesley goes with the advance force and the baggage trains stay with the main force. Because the baggage trains can also get rid of a fatigue marker. Or send the baggage trains and Wellesley with the advance force. And actually, if Wellesley and the baggage trains go with the advance force, they would move here. And if the fatigue marker was bad, it could be gotten rid of. Move a second spot. Again, if the fatigue marker was especially harsh, it could be gotten rid of. So actually, I guess the advanced force could fairly easily, the advanced force could get here without taking any fatigue. Then we get to the dilemma of the artillery only moves 4, whereas the infantry moved twice that at 8. So we'll figure this out. Now I'm wondering if the Anglo-Allied side shouldn't have moved the British fleet down to this port. But anyways, live and learn. So Wellesley is actually going to take the Portuguese cavalry, the 1st and 2nd brigades, and the 3rd and 4th brigades infantry with him, with and 2 decoys. All right, so those are there. That's Wellesley's force. I guess I'll take all the decoys. I'm still not sure how these decoys are really supposed to work, but anyways. And the baggage trains. Oh, the baggage trains are... Okay, no. Baggage trains are as slow as the artillery. The baggage trains are actually going to stay with the artillery. Alright, so we have staying here in Advamero is 3 artillery baggage trains, British infantry, and Portuguese infantry. So let's do Wellesley's march first. So they're traveling along a trail there, across the bridge. They move here. That takes 2 movement points, so I'll mark that on my track. And randomly, and don't have to do a command check because Wellesley's with them. They draw what? They draw 1 fatigue. 1 fatigue. 1 fatigue. 1 fatigue. No, that's okay. That's okay. We can go up to 4, I think. Yeah, we can go up to 4 without adverse effects. So now they're going to march on for 2 more movement points. So now we're up to 4. They're now at that port zone, and they draw a 2. Now they've got 3 fatigue. Now Wellesley can get rid of Junot. Still gonna leave it because we've got our infantry and cavalry, so we're gonna march on. Now we're on the road. We left the trail here, now we're on the road. That's just 1 movement point. Now we're up to 5. On to Sintra. We draw 1. That's okay. We're still at 4. The morale of the Portuguese is 4. Portuguese cavalry is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've accumulated 4 fatigue, so we've hit the morale of the Portuguese cavalry, and the morale of 3rd and 4th Brigades is 4, and the morale of 1st and 2nd Brigades is 4. So let me make sure that I think we only start having problems when we exceed the morale levels of 4. All right, we've hit the morale level, but we haven't exceeded, so we're still good. We're going to push on again, and we reach Sintra. That's a road. That's one more movement point up to 6. We're using 8 movement allowance here. We're still good there. We have to draw a fatigue marker. Yeah, and it is 0. So now the question is, do we push on to do we actually threaten Lisbon? Actually, I think we're going to threaten Lisbon. Why not? Even the trail force the trail force won't make it to Sintra, but I think we're actually going to push on and threaten Lisbon. So we are going to push on one more, follow the trail to that zone right there. That's 2 more, so we have hit our movement allowance, and the last fatigue is 1. But using Wellesley, we're going to ditch that 1. We make it there. We did not exceed our fatigue. We reached our fatigue limit, but we didn't exceed it to have negative effects or repercussions. So we expended 6 movement points. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We reached here. I'm going to flip them over and invert them to show that they have activated to march like that. We are 1 march to Lisbon. Now I think these ones have to go on the board because, yeah, I guess they do. But they're still upright. They're able to be activated. They're back there at Vimero. I think that's that. All right, I'll check what I've done here, make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to go with what I've got. I did review, I should have checked the fatigue marker draw modifiers. We were okay because the strength of the 1st and 2nd Brigades is 5. Strength of the 3rd and 4th Brigades is 4 for a total of 9, plus 1 for a cavalry unit is 10. So that's the exact limit to draw just 1 fatigue marker at a time. If I had 11 up to 20, 11 up to 20 would have been drawing an extra fatigue marker per march, and so on and so forth. But had 10 strength marching with Wellesley, which means that we were just drawing 1 fatigue marker per march. The other thing I'll say is that I probably should have planned all this better. Probably should have just moved the British fleet down to this port, had the whole army march 2 zones to here, use the baggage trains and possibly Wellesley to discard fatigue, an especially harsh fatigue marker drawn here, and then dropped off the baggage trains and artillery and some security here and had that force continue on breaking away. That would have avoided the command role. Now, when Wellesley is done there, now when the Anglo Allies come back to this stack, they're going to have to roll for command to march. Yeah. So probably should have just thought ahead and thought about these moves all together and done this as Wellesley's march and dropping off the slower elements here. But that's what we've got. covering up the Anglo-Allied order of battle again. It is the French side's operation. And I think that's where we can leave it.